Joe Biden's presidential campaign has issued a warning to reporters and editors in a memo demanding that they debunk the claims of corruption against him. The memo, titled "The Imperative for Honest Coverage of Trump's Ukraine Conspiracy Theory," deals specifically with the charge that then Vice President Joe Biden, as the Obama administration's point man in Ukraine, pushed for a Ukrainian prosecutor to be fired by threatening to withhold aid to the country. Wait. The fired prosecutor, Victor Shokin, was reportedly removed at the same time he was investigating Burisma, the Ukrainian gas company. According to the Biden campaign, Trump's impeachment was due in large part to his efforts to spread this theory. According to the memo, quote, Trump's objective was to pressure the Ukrainian government into spreading a malicious and conclusively debunked conspiracy theory, not true, that Vice President Biden engaged in wrongdoing when he executed official United States policy to remove a corrupt prosecutor from office. Again, that part is true. He was executing an official policy for the United States, but he knew at the time they were coming after his son. He knew at the time they were going after Burisma. There have never been any allegations in Ukraine that Shokin was corrupt. They've never filed any charges. They've never told him why he was fired, other than the vice president asked for it. In the memo, they cite numerous mainstream news outlets that agree with Biden's version of the story and that discredit the theory that Biden pushed for the firing of the prosecutor to cover up corruption. Accordingly, the memo goes on to instruct the media to state clearly and unambiguously that such claims of corruption have been discredited and debunked. Otherwise, it is journalistic malpractice, according to the Biden campaign. It is sufficient to say the allegations are it is not sufficient to say the allegations are unsubstantiated or that no evidence has emerged to support them. This is crazy. Not only is there no evidence for the Republicans' main argument against the vice president, there is a mountain of evidence that actively debunks it, and it is malpractice to ignore the truth. I'm at a loss. I feel like I say the same thing every day, but every day it's worse. I don't even know what to say anymore. I don't believe this. Of course I believe this. It's happening every single day. It's just getting worse. I've never seen anything like this. Yeah, I did yesterday, but this one's worse. I don't know what to say to you anymore. I don't know how to come to you with this news anymore. Despite numerous outlets having reported the claims as false, Republicans and Trump defenders are not so convinced. In fact, it was Biden himself who added fuel to the theory's flame when he openly bragged on camera. He said, I'm telling you, you're not going to get the billions of dollars. You're not getting the billion. I'm going to be leaving here, and think about that, in 6 hours. I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor is not fired, then you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch, he laughed. He got fired. And they put somebody solid in his place. Now, they put somebody solid in his place until this story broke. When Biden was laughing about that in a Council of Foreign Relations meeting in 2018, not so long ago, when he said they put somebody competent in his place, he was competent until he resumed the look into Burisma. And then this story broke again with Donald Trump. And as soon as that happened, then this new prosecutor was not somebody to be trusted. He's corrupt too. The way the media, and we have shown it to you, the way the media has debunked this is completely and total fabrication. It is at best sloppy work. This is what they are breaking is or committing is the crime and the sin of omission. What they're doing is they're saying, look, this was debunked. New York Times said it. And you go to the New York Times. New York Times, it's debunked. According to Bloomberg. Bloomberg, it's debunked. According to the Washington Post. The Washington Post, it's debunked. According to this paper in Ukraine. Well, then we went to that paper in Ukraine. Everybody else is just quoting each other. You go to the paper in Ukraine, and it says that Shokin, said that he didn't. It wasn't Shokin. It was the other one that said he didn't say that to the embassy.
Right. This is
the ambassador.
Right. The whole situation with Yovanovitch and how she had a list of do not prosecute, which initially was the story told by the prosecutor. And then he said, well, it wasn't a list.
No. They asked him. This is how they did it. They asked him in this interview. So do you have the paper? She gave you, so she handed you a list. No. She didn't hand it to me. She gave it to me verbally.
Yeah, that was the
second
interview.
So she told me.
Yeah, right.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so the Post and the Times and everybody else says, he said he was never given a list. Period. Debunked. No, it's not debunked. He said she didn't hand me a list. She gave it to me and I wrote it down.
Yeah, and he brought, when he was talking about names that he thought was, worthy of prosecution or looking into it, she beat him up on it.
Right.
And, is that different than giving him a list of people not to prosecute? She was telling him he shouldn't prosecute those people. And he was saying, this has been the problem in Ukraine forever.
Right.
This has been the issue. This is what you guys are supposed to help us stop doing.
Correct.
We're just not supposed to be going after these or protecting certain politically connected people. We're supposed to be doing the opposite, going after the truth.
Shokin and his prosecutor that replaced him are now on record saying, we don't know how to fight corruption the American way because it's not a system. It's you can do this, you can't do this. Next day it's, we're including this person that you can prosecute and this one you got to stay away from. There's no rhyme or reason other than power and money. Now, when it comes to this particular thing where Joe Biden asked for the firing of Shokin because he was dirty. His claim is, I didn't know anything at all, nothing at all about the Burisma investigation. I didn't know that. There's no way for me to know that. They weren't investigating at the time. That is provably false. We have the court records that happened, coincidentally, within days before the vice president's visit. The State Department was notified that Joe Biden's son was going to be under investigation. That's when Daddy gets on the plane. No one in the State Department, no one in the embassy, no one on the vice presidential staff or president's staff was briefed that the vice president's son and his company was going under investigation by the prosecutor, the one that we helped appoint. Nobody notified the vice president of that. And then he just coincidentally said, we're not doing any aid if you go into any of this on Burisma. That is fact, verifiable fact with documents. It is not malpractice. It is treasonous to the truth. You either want to tell the truth and let the chips fall where they may, or you are nothing but a puppet. Look, I think my record is pretty darn clear. If Donald Trump would have been doing these things and you could prove it and I would do the investigation, I said to our researchers, dig. At the very beginning, dig. Let the chips fall where they may. Find the truth. I would come to you and tell you, I'm sorry, and if it would mean the end of my business, I don't give a flying crap. I don't know how to tell you these things anymore. I'd gladly go away. I'd tell you the truth. If Donald Trump was doing that, I'd tell it to you. This is corruption at the highest levels of the Obama administration. And what Schiff said yesterday, well, I've never seen anything like it. Oh, yeah, no, I did. I just saw the memo from Joe Biden, which is exactly the same thing. Schiff, under oath, as an impeachment manager, told whoppers of lies yesterday, but he walked into a trap. He started talking about this. Oh, well, this conspiracy. Well, now, wait a minute. If you're talking about this conspiracy, then we should talk to people to make sure that it is a conspiracy. You're right. If it's a conspiracy, there are facts out there that show that it's not. In fact, every fact shows that it's not. So you want to bring that up with Hunter Biden? Thank you, Mr. Schiff. You just introduced that as a line we can pursue. Now you must hear from the president's son, vice president's son. You must hear from him. And why is it they have to have such Nazi-like marching orders to fall in line, press? Why do you feel that's necessary to do? If you have nothing to hide, let him talk. Let him talk. When Trump would go off on, not born here, I was like, please, can somebody, because that's not helping him. That's not helping him. Okay? But when he's right about, the birther thing. Mm-hmm. But when he's right about something, let him talk. When you have truth on your side, let him talk. You don't, Joe Biden, have truth on your side. So you must silence people.